Okay, so your frame comes in, and then what happens?
So the frame comes in, it's raw. Only thing on it's going to be your front landing gears, right? It's going to have junk axles on it. They're literally steel with tires. Pull it in, pull that off. We're going to slide your axles underneath, so it's going to get hoisted up in that spot over there. Your axles are going to get installed. We're going to bolt on all the rest of your leveling jacks. Then we're going to run all your underbelly. Then we're going to have that reflective, that R38 reflective foil put on top of that, and then your insulation that you see laying here. Once that insulation's in, we're going to run your hydraulic lines, install your hydraulic rams for your slide outs, install your tanks, and all your termination plumbing, and your plumbing that's going to be in this inside of the underbelly is going to be done here. It's called the Infinity pump. Basically, it's a hydraulic pump that has your manifold and everything all built into one. So in the past, we had a hydraulic pump, ran to some manifolds. Now it's all in one spot, and we're mounting them all up front instead of underneath.
So on the sea level, there's no penetration?
No penetration, it's exterior. So sea level is not as accurate as True Tank. True Tank's mapped to the tank. See, our tank has a slight angle on the bottom, so you can fit more water on that end than this end. The True Tank just reads how far up the water is. But it's pretty darn accurate. It's going to give you what percentage of that side of the tank is full, which is the big side of the tank anyway. So the first half of your tank's going to fill up a little quicker than the second half of your tank.
Now, this brand is what now?
It's sea level.
This is sea level, okay.
Sea level. So you see them done a lot of aftermarket, you see them done on higher end motors. Ignore that frame over there. You notice that's not a fifth wheel? So we're going to work on a little prototype next week. So, yeah, so that one's going to be. So, it'll be interesting. I mean, we may only build one, we may build 1,000. We'll find out.
Travel trailer?
It's going to be a
tongue pull?
Yeah, tongue pull. It's a big one. Yeah. It's going to be more for parking.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't call it a weekender unit. I would call it more of a destination. Yeah. We build everything we build, whether it's a floor, wall, roof, front wall, rear wall, slide out, 16-inch centers. You'll see in the floor, there's one that's going to be a little wider. That floor is going to be built with 5/8 tongue and groove plywood. We're going to wrap the bottom of that floor in a material that will help if you ever were to have a water issue in your underbelly. We call it Darko. I don't know what the actual name is, but almost tarp-like material that most guys wrap their underbelly with. That's what we wrap the bottom of the floor with. Plumbing's going to be ran. Most of your main plumbing is going to be ran through the floor. All right. So this corner is going to be our cabinet shop, our main cabinet shop. We do have a smaller one down the line for some of the slide outs, but interior walls, all your main cabinetry is going to be built back in this corner. So most of that stuff's coming in mill length. On the islands, we've gone to more of the solid surface down the sides. We kind of call it a false waterfall. We don't have them actually bonded together like a residential waterfall, so going down the road, you don't have to worry about any cracking. I know some guys in the past, that's some issues they've had. We did that on one unit in the past, 41RL, and we did not have that issue, but that unit was also built on MORRIDE independent suspension, every one of them. So that's why we went this route. Out up front here, as we move through, we're gonna be moving into the plumbing department. As we move into plumbing, like most of the facility, you're gonna see a day to 2 days of production pre-built. So cabinets, islands, your water manifolds, your furnaces, your convenience centers, all this stuff's built today, 2 days ahead of time. Plumbing is going to be done, most of it, up top on that mezzanine. It's where they're going to cut and start assembling the plumbing and then bring it down per unit. You'll see a bunch of it is hanging down on the bottom, a bunch of the pieces ready to go. Unit's going to get pushed into the plumbing department. You're going to see hydraulic pump and manifold are going to be in. So hydraulic lines are getting finished here. The plumbing's all going to be finished here before it rolls out of the station. This is where we purge your hydraulic system. So we do have a machine that will push the fluid through that system, make sure it's purged of any air so it's ready to go. Pretty much everything in the unit will come out of your doorway. Years ago, they all went there to be aligned and to have the installation double checked. But we actually ordered the frame from Lippert with different axle mounting components on it, and then we mount the Morite axles here.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, so it is an independent suspension, axle-less. You still have to, I can't think of the torsion arms that are coming down, and those torsion arms are still mounted to a beam that's going across, or a tube. And so we mount that here. This is honestly, it's the same look. A lot of you guys are familiar with Cedar Creek as well. The Cedar Creek's been doing for over 25 years. We just do it a little thicker, right? They're a 2-inch wall, we're a 3. So they have the same unit in a row if we can, but our runs are gonna be a couple units at a time. Once in a while, we'll get a 2-day run maybe, but for the most part, we're 1 day, we're 2, 3, 4 in a row.
Okay.
If we have a retail order from a dealer and we don't have other units to build with it at that same floor plan, we will build a single floor plan. So from when it goes in that door down there to when it goes offline is about 2 weeks. Once it goes offline, it has to go to paint. That's gonna be close to another month. Then it comes back here, and usually it's about a week after that we end up having it ready to ship. So after paint, we're inspecting the paint, doing any extra buffing. We're gonna be installing vent covers, awnings, all that. There's a couple days of work there. If we don't, and once in a while we send one back to paint. For 4th of July or something, like the guys in here painting all the yellow. You see a lot of different colors of wiring. We have different colored 110 wiring, and for if it's going on the inverter or not on the inverter, so it's easier to see and diagnose when you're looking at something. We have different colored 12-volt wiring, whether it's a living room ceiling light, a kitchen ceiling light, a bedroom ceiling light. This wall, they come in on a cart down there. So this year we moved to an Asdale wall instead of Lawan, so your exterior skin is all Asdale back. It's a composite material. That wall is going to be hung. We're going to attach it. You see the big bars going across, like down there, carpeted steel bar. If we have a big stretch with no opening, any of the openings are going to be screwed around. We're going to have these outside corner pieces screwed on to help clamp it down. Some of these kind of junk, it's the molding, outside molding for your baggage doors. It's just, we get some molding and cut it and just reuse it to help clamp that on until we're installing those parts. Once that wall's on there, obviously before we start putting these on, we're routing it. So we take a router and zip that out, and then we actually will use those sections to do the faces of the slide outs. So the ones from the baggage doors, we send it put on. Baggage doors, windows. So you'll see right here, they've got the S-lock, we call it, or belt trim, but that is what your skirt metal actually slides into and clamps your skirt metal in, where you don't see any screws on the outside of your skirt metal. That's what it's going into. Okay. So it's getting prepped for skirt metal. The next department will get the skirt metal. Not a ton will happen with the interior in the next couple stations. It's mainly exterior. So as we move through, you'll see some different boxes, skirt metals, baggage doors, trims. And you'll see it start going on the unit. You're going from raw holes, the baggage doors, trim around your slide out. We do not. We order them in. So they come from Challenger, which
surface on them.
So yeah, they will order wall material in also, like for us. Though we tell them what to order from our supplier, but then every week they do pick. It's similar to how you would see a wall done in a laminated facility. They're going to bring in rolled fiberglass in a coil like that, and they're going to roll it out over the wall and laminate it. We're rolling it out over. We're still building a wood decked roof. Brand new.
Fiberglass over the edge.
Yep, so that's what they do on all the motorhomes.
Yep.
Yeah, so you get into a real high-end motorhome, they'll have an actual molded roof. But like any of your Class A's or Class C, they're gonna have a fiberglass roof. They're gonna wrap it over that. This is a rear kitchen, 39 cat.
But I mean, some of them are cold.
We're gonna start as a raw floor. We got sidetracked because we started talking about composite floors. So last year we moved to composite slide out floors. So there is no wood in that slide out floor. It is a composite material. It's a high density foam with the top and bottom backer. I think one might be, let's say it's fiberglass and some other composite material. But yeah, fiberglass doesn't sound right. Whatever it is, it's all composites. It has less deflection when you step on it than a piece of plywood equivalent. There's nothing in there to rot out. You know, unfortunately, a lot of campers have seen what happens, especially you get into a unit like ours where those slides are open for a very extended part of the year, and it can lead to slide floor rots. That composite floor cannot rot. That is why we moved to it. It is expensive, so not a ton of industry has moved to it yet. You are seeing a few guys getting on it. It's something we did at the beginning of the 2024 model year. So 24s and the 25s will all have it. When your slides are built, we're gonna build that same 3-inch wall on the slide as we would the rest of the unit. It's gonna have the same, obviously, dual pane windows throughout the whole unit. That slide is going to be completed. This department's an interesting department because they are doing plumbing, there's out headers, you know, corner blocks for the crown molding. As you look at these racks, most of these racks are going to be a stained or a painted hardwood. We do have some wrapped products. Anything that matches the wallboard is obviously going to be wrapped, or like your flat battens that are wood colored. Other than your flats, basically everything you see here is going to be stained or painted. From your window trims, your crown molding, your door trims, your actual doors. This is where the units are going to be finished. I would probably, let's see what this one looks like inside. Maybe walk by and see what an unfinished one looks like. See if things are real. Cabinet doors, all that stuff's going to be assembled, handles put on, hinges put on. You're going to notice everything this year is new for 2025. This is the only one we do.
That was the only one they got. Now, is that an option or is that standard?
Standard on this model.
In this sucker though, don't you?
Yeah, we do. That's why it's a 24,000 pound GPWR. It's got like...
Okay, this is the new paint with the logo now they've got on these.
Yeah, and